What's up, guys? I hope you all had a fantastic weekend. Market has been acting up in the past week. We saw a significant decline in prices as a small percentage of traders panic sold their XRP holdings. If we head over to CoinMarketCap.com, we can see the current XRP price is at $1.14 and has been down by 2.39% over the last 24 hours. A lot more is expected to happen in this new week, so we just wait and see how the events will unfold. That aside, let's roll that beautiful intro and get into all the juicy details of today's video. As always, welcome back to MoneySide, your favorite crypto news channel. If you are new here, welcome to the XRP family. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our daily crypto news updates. Now, getting back to today's topic, it almost feels like this Ripple versus SEC case will never end. Well, not quite literally, as one day we will have some form of finalization. But all these events keep being pushed forward, and now everyone keeps wondering how long this will continue. To rev those engines, we've got this tweet from Mac Attack XRP that says, "Court grants discovery extension request to Ripple and SEC in the XRP lawsuit." He further shares a link to an article posted on the CoinRepublic.com. If we look in that article, we can see that Judge Sarah Netburn has conceded Ripple and the SEC's movement to broaden the cutoff time for master revelation. The update was first shared by James K. Filan, with the lawyer uncovering that the court has likewise allowed an expansion for documenting pre-movement letters regarding a rundown judgment. Nonetheless, no due date has been set at this point. True to form, the court conceded the solicitation for a cutoff time expansion for truth revelation, which likewise moves the planned master disclosure. The gatherings might direct the affidavits of litigants Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson after the end of the August 31st truth revelation cutoff time. The judge dominated. The cutoff time for master disclosure has been stretched out to November 12th. Recently, the two gatherings had mutually recorded a movement to push the testimony of Ripple chiefs Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson after the cutoff time for fact discovery. According to the document, this was done due to surprising sickness of a lawyer, essential to the Larson statement. Presently, while the gatherings had offered a timetable in September for the statements to be completed, the court has not offered a particular date. As per the lawyer, giving movements for augmentation of time are frequently ruled on in this style. This is known as a docket order, he said. The cutoff time for the gatherings to trade their separate assertions of material realities compliant with Local Civil Rule 56.1 and their pre-movement letters regarding movements for rundown judgment is deferred, since they pass on the forthcoming goal of the movements to excuse and strike. No due date has been set forth for the goal of the individual litigants' movements to strike and excuse the argument against them. Before this decision, the reality revelation cutoff time was August 31st, and the master disclosure cutoff time was October 31st. The adjustment of dates has adequately added 13 more days to what exactly is at present planned. The court is yet to settle on the forthcoming movements before it. Different archives can be documented solely after these decisions have been made. Notwithstanding, the timetable for the equivalent can't be anticipated. Likewise, there have additionally been hypotheses that the following hearing in the matter, planned to happen on August 31st, will be public. What the SEC and Ripple have found at this point is obscure. As per onlookers, the two gatherings are outfitted for certain solid snippets of data to make their separate cases, though these subtleties might be uncovered to general society, relying upon how the advantage issue turns out. This isn't the first run-through. The judge moves the dates. A couple of months prior, the SEC was allowed its solicitation to broaden reality revelation by 60 days, notwithstanding Ripple's resistance. The basics continue as before. Any settlement is probably solely after essentially the end of truth revelation, and surprisingly more probable after the master disclosure cutoff time, November 12th. All things considered, numerous specialists near the SEC v. Ripple claims they don't see it finishing that soon. Lawyer Filan said as of late that this is a conflict. "I figure we should get comfortable for the long stretch," he added. As we can all see from this article, this lawsuit is bound to take longer than expected. Moving ahead, we have yet another tweet from Ant15969495 that says if any of the SEC traded XRP, then it's game over. You can't take Ripple to court on the grounds of it being a security if you're buying it yourself. Don't you just love the smoke screens? As we can see from this tweet, Ripple has pulled another card from the stack, and this time around, they are demanding disclosure concerning SEC employees' XRP holdings. We will develop this story further in the next tweet. We have this quite interesting development in the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit. Ripple filed a motion to compel the SEC for documents discovery showing whether SEC employees could trade in crypto, including XRP and other digital assets. We have this interesting tweet on the same from MacAttack XRP that says Ripple demands disclosure concerning SEC employees' XRP holdings. If we follow that link he shared under the tweet, we can see an article posted on amcrypto.com that says Ripple files another motion to compel SEC to find its employees' XRP trading. That article right there says Ripple recently filed a motion to compel the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, to reveal policies and information regarding its employees trading in cryptos like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP. This motion will add to Ripple's fair notice defense. As per the filing provided by attorney James K. Filan, Ripple wants the SEC to provide anonymized documents reflecting trading pre-clearance decisions with regard to XRP, Bitcoin, and Ether, or alternatively, for that information to be produced in aggregate form. Further documents relating to SEC employees' XRP holdings were also mentioned in the motion filing. Defendants also seek certifications concerning SEC employees' XRP holdings, again, either with redactions of personal information or in aggregate form. We met and conferred with the SEC on this issue on July 8th, July 15th, August 18th, and August 25th without progress. Ripple's previous requests were met with SEC's refusal to produce certain information integral to the defendant's understanding of SEC's policies regarding digital assets and whether or not SEC permitted its own employees to trade the contended digital asset XRP. Earlier in June, the court had granted Ripple's motion to compel the SEC to produce its trading policies regarding digital assets. Post that, the SEC produced a policy dated January 19, 2018, titled Ethics Guidance Regarding Digital Assets. Ripple pointed out that until January 19, 2018, the SEC did not view digital assets as securities, and its employees were therefore free to buy, sell, and hold XRP without any restrictions by the SEC. In the above-mentioned document, it was also stated by the defendants that this evidence provides strong corroboration of the defendants' defenses in this case and undermines the SEC's claims, specifically the now acknowledged fact that the SEC itself did not restrict its own employees from selling or buying XRP, notwithstanding its long-standing regulation against its employees engaging in securities transactions without preclearance, indicates that the SEC had not concluded prior to at least January 2018 the sales and offers of XRP were securities transactions. Further, even though SEC maintained a prohibited holdings list pertaining to securities that fall within the SEC's securities trading ban, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP never appeared on this list. The watch list created by the SEC for identifying assets that are subject to case-by-case reviews rather than a blanket prohibition added XRP only after April 13, 2018. This meant that any SEC employee transactions in XRP after April 13, 2018 were evaluated on a case-by-case basis. Again, through the pre-clearance process, Ripple claimed that the SEC has refused to produce this crucial information to the case and was now seeking to pressurize it through the court. The court has given the SEC until September 3rd to respond to this motion. However, what if the SEC refuses to cooperate once again? As noted in response to Filan's Twitter update, we have Sherry V. 43995579 that says the SEC can absolutely decide not to follow the court's order. What happens after a period of time is the judge will issue sanctions against them. If the SEC continues to ignore the order, then it can ultimately lead to the case being dismissed. As Ripple and the SEC continue their back and forth, the crypto community awaits the August 31st fact discovery deadline. Moreover, since the court has already granted the involved parties' joint request to push the deposition of Ripple's CEO and founder, Brad Garlinghouse, and Chris Larson's depositions, the lawsuit seems to be far from reaching a conclusion. That said, Time to take a look at the charts. Ripple again is trading at $1.14 currently, and the bears seem to be pushing the price down. And it will soon hit the first support line at $1.09, where the bulls will battle with the bears over control in the hope of pushing the price back up. And if that is to happen, then the price will most likely be moving up and headed near the first resistance line at $1.23, and with a strong push from the bears, it could break out and keep going up to the $1.37 level. If the bulls make a move and take control over the market, then we will see the price move to the resistance level at $1.23, where the bulls' power will be tested by the bears, and they will try to take control over the market, which will lead to the price dropping back to the support zone between $1.95, showing that the bulls are having a very hard time breaking out and holding the price above the $1.25 mark. I believe that time-wise, somewhere between now and the middle of September is when we will see XRP stop retracing and begin the next impulse wave up. As always, remember, trade safely, guys. Please keep in mind, we're not a licensed financial advisor. All videos on this channel are intended for entertainment purposes only. Let us know what you think in the comment section below. Let's start a conversation. As always, I thank you for watching. Don't forget to like this video and to click on that subscribe button below. Turn on notifications so you get informed whenever we post our amazing content. We'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.